Somewhere in England, an inspection is held of a station of the 9th Air Force Troop Carrier Command. A number of distinguished guests were present. A special demonstration of paratroop and airborne infantry maneuvers was staged for this review. Over 1,000 paratroops participated in the demonstration. The men shown here may spearhead the European invasion by striking the first blow behind the Nazi West Wall. Just prior to this demonstration, the 9th Air Force Troop Carrier Command combined with similar British units in a large-scale dress rehearsal for D-Day. The paratroopers were dropped from about 400 feet. The men pour out of the transports as quickly as possible, and in a matter of seconds, a well-armed, powerful striking force is on the ground, ready for action. Watch the center of the screen. The lines of 2 parachutes have become entangled. However, no serious injuries were sustained. Special bundles of supplies and equipment attached to parachutes were dropped alongside the men. Various colors are used for the parachutes to aid rapid identification of paratroops and supplies. Having secured their weapons, the men rushed to take cover. Within a very short time, the entire drop zone was cleared, as would be the case under combat conditions. The 803rd Medical Air Evacuation Transport Squadron, based at Chabua, has been operating in the China-Burma-India theater since November 8, 1943. It has 3 C-47 hospital ships assigned to it, which make 1 regularly scheduled flight to China, 2 to Burma, and 3 to Calcutta each week. In addition, an average of 3 emergency flights are made a week. The personnel table of 94 includes 24 surgical technicians and 25 nurses, 9 of whom were formerly airline stewardesses. A nurse and a technician form a flying team, going into combat zones and working together as a unit. When not on flying duty, the team does maintenance work on equipment or works in supply rooms or dispensaries in the area. This ambulance plane is preparing to take off from the Chabua Strip. It is the first airplane in this theater to be so conspicuously identified as a hospital plane. It stops at the Shinbuyang landing strip at the northern end of the Hukwang Valley in Burma to take aboard Chinese casualties of the fighting on the North Burma front. Among the casualties was 1 American, a liaison officer with the Chinese troops. Jeeps, converted to do ambulance work, bring the casualties to the airstrip where they're transferred to the C-47. The hospital plane can accommodate 18 litter cases or 24 ambulatory cases. From the middle of November 1943 to the middle of January 1944, the squadron evacuated 481 cases. The casualty ratio has been 1 litter case to 7 ambulatory cases. The ambulance planes are so equipped that all nursing procedures may be performed in flight, and in extreme emergencies, even surgery is possible. At the time these pictures were taken, the Xinbuyang strip was only a half hour's flying time from the front lines for a C-47. The hospital planes also stop at the Taifaga airstrip, some 22 airline miles to the southeast of Xinbuyang, and at the time, the most advanced base in North Burma. Chinese and American battle casualties are taken aboard. With the exception of a few liaison officers, these are the first American casualties on this front. These men were wounded in the battle for Mai Quan, which is about 13 airline miles to the southeast of Taifaga. They have already received treatment at the 25th Field Hospital, which is also known as the Foreign Legion Staff Hospital, and are now on their way to a base hospital in the rear. L-4s and L-5s also bring wounded directly from the front to the Taifaga strip. One of these small liaison planes landed about 300 yards behind the firing line to evacuate casualties. In spite of severe leg wounds from shrapnel, this soldier continued to man his gun until forcibly removed. He was to be recommended for the Silver Star for this action. This is his canteen. Filled to capacity, the C-47 takes off for the return flight to Chabua, about 1 hour's flying time. To make the same trip by jeep, when the Lido Road is in good condition, would take approximately 3 days. During March, the 13th Air Force continued to bomb the Rabaul area. The town itself was hit on March 8th by liberators of the 371st Squadron of the 307th Group. The bomb run was made at 16,100 feet. Anti-aircraft was strong, but no enemy fighters offered interception. Storage areas were the principal targets. Our bombers struck at supply depots in an effort to destroy the means of subsistence of enemy ground forces. On March 12th, the town was hit again by the 371st Squadron from an altitude of 17,000 feet. Ack was fairly strong. On the following day, the 394th Squadron of the 5th Group made a bomb run over the town at 17,500 feet. The Rabaul Aerodrome was attacked on March 15th by unescorted B-24s. They dropped 500-pound bombs on the installations. Moderate anti-aircraft fire was encountered. Direct hits were scored on the runway. On the same day, Rabaul proper was also hit by Liberator bombers. Because of the continued attacks, few, if any, structures remain standing in the town of Rabaul, according to recent photographs. The enemy drone at Buna Canal was hit on March 20th. During this month, very few planes were observed on the ground at the airfields near Rabaul. A group of 2 officers and 1 enlisted man of the Technical Division Ordnance Section is visiting every combat unit of the 15th Air Force, demonstrating and explaining known enemy weapons and orienting combat crews with their own weapons. The demonstration equipment is carried in a truck and is quickly set up in an open field or hangar. Here, men of the 455th Bomb Group pay close attention as the care and maintenance of our own 50 caliber machine gun is explained. Samples of German ammunition are mounted on this demonstration board. Ammunition for the German 151 aircraft machine gun, a weapon also used by the Japs. Ammunition for the German 20mm Mauser and Oerlikon cannon. Anti-aircraft shell for the German 88mm cannon. And these are the fragments it produces. This is the German 2-kilogram anti-personnel bomb, sometimes called the butterfly bomb. Medium and light bombers participate in the big attack on Casino. On March 15th, marauders of the 319th Bombardment Group, based at Deciomamano Field on the island of Sardinia, take off. The target for today is the town of Casino. Over the Mediterranean, en route to the target, they test their guns. One ship of this group is forced back because of engine trouble, but 35 marauders are over the target at noon. From an altitude of 10,400 feet, they release 60 tons of explosives. No ACAC or enemy fighters are encountered. A huge cloud of smoke covers the town. The 340th Bombardment Group is based at the Pompeii airfield, almost in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. These Mitchell crews are veterans, having gone through the desert campaign with the British 8th Army. A B-25 camera ship has been assigned to fly alongside and photograph the bombing of Casino. The group flies 2 missions of 24 Mitchells each. On the first, 1,000-pound bombs are dropped on Casino from an altitude of 9,000 feet. The second mission strikes with 250-pounders and fragmentation bombs against enemy gun positions 2 miles north of Casino. The bomb run is made at 11,000 feet. The town of Casino is hit at 10 and 15-minute intervals all morning. P-40s of the 79th Fighter Group, based at Capitacino Field near Naples, play an important part in the attack. Carrying 1,000-pounders, the fighter bombers hit at enemy concentrations outside Casino and at possible escape routes. A supply concentration in a strongly defended amphitheater is also bombed. Starting at 7,000 feet, the P-40s dive on the target. They release their 1,000-pound bombs and pull out at 1,500. A-20s take off from the Vesuvius airfield to join in the attack on Casino. Based close to the front, this light bomber group is often used against emergency targets, like gun emplacements and troop concentration. One of our own planes goes down in flames. On Sunday night, March 20th, Mount Vesuvius suddenly erupted. A column of smoke and burning lava thousands of feet high was spewed from the crater. The lava flowed down Vesuvius on the side of the mountain opposite to our airfield at Pompeii, which appeared comparatively safe at first. The long-dormant volcano continued its violent activity for several days. Villages on the mountain slope were severely damaged by the flowing lava. San Sebastiano, a town of 7,000, was buried under tons of molten rock. The forward wall of lava, 40 to 50 feet high and a quarter of a mile wide, moved slowly down the slope, swallowing everything in its path. Rich garden lands were ruined. The village of San Giuseppe, 4 miles east of the crater, was covered by 2.5 feet of lava ash. The Italian civilians called on the Allied military government. Air Force equipment and personnel aided in the necessary evacuations. Whatever could be salvaged in the way of furniture and personal belongings was also moved to safer zones. Regular Army equipment was drafted to set up emergency soup kitchens for the homeless. Bread lines quickly formed, as shown here in the square of Massa di Soma. Care of the civilian population was one task, but a more pressing military problem arose later. A sudden change in wind rained a mass of burning cinders down on the Pompeii airfield southeast of Vesuvius, where the 340th Bomb Group was based. There was neither time nor visibility to get the ships off the ground, and morning found the whole installation buried under more than a foot of cinders and ash. A hasty inspection showed that the B-25s might still be saved. Because fine ash was sifting into the engines, the planes had to be moved fast, even before a complete checkup could be made. The nearest safe spot was the Vesuvius airfield to the north. The 324th and 303rd Squadrons of the 19th Service Group pitched in to do the job. First, a military highway had to be cut through more than a mile of grape vineyards, farmlands, and orchards. The old road was much too narrow and full of turns. As soon as the two airfields were joined, 6x6 trucks towed the planes to the Vesuvius drome. The guns had already been removed for cleaning. Equipped with long-handled brooms, a cleanup crew arrived. Note the deep layer of cinders on the road. The real job begins. Brooms and elbow grease were applied. Wingtips were removed. They were either patched or discarded. An occasional dent or hole on the overall wing section could be patched successfully. But if the entire top surface had been hammered, then sections of the skin had to be replaced. Large rocks were found among the cinders that caused the damage. All fabric control surfaces were removed. They were reconditioned or new ones installed. The cleaning job alone was an enormous task. Cinders dropping from the sky and blown by the wind had seeped in everywhere. Wing sections and the interiors of the planes were blown out by compressed air. Broken plexiglass was mixed in the debris. Punctured wing skin had to be repaired. Control surfaces were replaced. Here, a complete plexiglass nose section is being installed. Rosie gets her final bath, the engines are tested, and the repair work is completed.
I'd like to congratulate you, your officers, and your men for doing the magnificent job you've done in taking 82 airplanes off an airfield that was completely wiped out by cinder ash from Vesuvius, moving them 5 miles across an improved road to another field, and 11 days later, putting the first plane back into the air. I'm very proud of all of you. Okay, Major, turn it over.